So the iron which we extract, this iron is extracted in the blast furnace. But this iron which we extract in the blast furnace is not a pure iron. Why it's not a pure iron? Because originally the impurities which were present in this iron were acidic oxide, which was silicon oxide or sand. And we remove the sand by reacting with calcium oxide, which form a slag. But what happened? Now there's another impurity which is added to this. And what is that impurity? That impurity is the unreacted carbon. Because what happened when we add a coke, some of the coke may not react with oxygen and convert into carbon dioxide. So if that coke is not reacting with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, that is unreacted coke or carbon, and that can mix with iron. So the iron which we extract from the blast furnace is actually not a pure iron. So the iron from the blast furnace is not pure, and that iron contain impurity unreacted carbon and trace of silicon oxide, means a small amount of silicon oxide or sand. So the iron which we extract from the blast furnace, that iron, because it is impure, that iron is known as pig iron. So iron from the blast furnace is not a pure iron, and that is called a pig iron. And then if this pig iron, if we mold into shape, so if in the pig iron, if we mold into shape, what we call that as cast iron. And if the pig iron, if we remove all of the carbon, then we call that as wrought iron. And if in the pig iron, if we change the composition of the carbon, I either increase or decrease the composition of or amount of carbon, so if we increase or decrease the amount of carbon, what we call that as steel.
Sir, didn't we finish this?
No, the last topic I explained extraction of the iron, how we separate the iron in the blast furnace. And this is a continuation of the topic that the iron which we extract in the blast furnace is actually not a pure iron. So
Yeah,
if in that iron, if we mold into shape, we call that as a cast iron. If we remove all of the carbon, we call that as a wrought iron. And if we increase or decrease the percentage or amount of carbon, then we call that as steel. And if we remove all of the carbon and add nickel and chromium, then it will become stainless steel. So iron which is extracted in the blast furnace is not a pure iron. Why it is not a pure iron? Because that iron contain unreacted carbon. That's why we call that as pig iron, impure iron or a pig iron. And this impure iron, if we mold into shape, if we give a certain shape to that, how to make iron pure, that's a next topic, is how we can convert, how we can increase or decrease the composition of the carbon or percentage of the carbon. Nickel and chromium actually are unreactive. So as they are unreactive and shiny metals, so the surface becomes smooth and it becomes unreactive or does not react or does not corrode. So if we mold into shape, it become a cast iron. What is the use of a cast iron? Cast iron is actually used as engine blocks, car engines. The engine of the cars, the engine of trucks, they use a cast iron. If we remove all of the carbon, it become a wrought iron. What is the use of the wrought iron? Wrought iron is highly malleable. So it is used for making chains or doors. And if we change the composition of a carbon, like if we add carbon or increase the amount of a carbon, then it is called a high carbon steel. And high carbon steel is used for drills. The drill machines are made up of high carbon steel because it is highly high tensile strength, means it required a greater force to break it. And if we decrease the amount of carbon, then it becomes soft steel, which is also called a mild steel, which is used for car bodies. So car bodies are made up of low carbon steel. And if we remove the carbon and we add nickel and chromium, it becomes stainless steel. And the use of the stainless steel is used for cutleries like spoons, knives, and chemical plants. Chemical plants, to store the chemicals, these plants are made up of stainless steel so that it does not react or it is unreactive. Is it clear? If you have any question or doubt, feel free to ask a question, because this is an important topic. You will find many questions related to this topic. Copy this. Not a pure iron. That iron is known as a pig iron. If pig iron we mold into shape, we call that as a cast iron. If we remove all of the carbon, we call that as a wrought iron. And if we increase or decrease the amount of carbon, it becomes steel. And if we remove the carbon and add nickel and chromium, it becomes stainless steel. Then how we can convert iron to steel? Basically, steel means if it's having a definite proportion of a carbon, either, so converting iron to steel, and basically converting iron to steel is because if we want to add or increase the amount of carbon, we simply add coke. But if we want to remove the carbon, we use a basic oxygen furnace. So why we call that as a basic oxygen furnace, converting iron to steel? So this basic oxygen furnace and main purpose of this is to reduce or remove the carbon, or reduce or remove the carbon. We can reduce the carbon or we can remove the carbon from the blast, from molten iron, from the so here we have a molten iron, and this molten iron contain carbon, the black spots here are representing carbon, so what we do here is we add oxygen to this. So when we add oxygen, what will happen? The oxygen will react with carbon. These black spots are representing a carbon. So oxygen plus carbon, what it result? It result in a formation of a carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is a gas, so it will come out. Why oxygen does not react with iron here first? Because iron is less reactive as compared to carbon. Carbon is more reactive than iron. So iron atoms remain there, but oxygen reacted with more reactive carbon gives carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide gas came. That's why we use the term oxygen. But why we call basic also? What is the reason? Because I told some of the sand particles are still there. It contains sand or silicon 4 oxide. This is a basic oxygen furnace. In a basic oxygen furnace, we remove the carbon or reduce the amount of carbon from the molten iron. So what happened? We add oxygen in the furnace. So when we add oxygen to a furnace, oxygen react with carbon. It gives carbon dioxide, and the carbon dioxide gas will escape. So as the carbon dioxide gas escape, the percentage or the amount of carbon in the mixture or the molten iron will decrease. Then this also contain impurity sand. Sand means silicon oxide. So this sand or silicon oxide, which is SiO2, a small amount of sand is there. So to remove this sand, what we do, we add a basic oxide or a metal oxide. So what we add calcium oxide. So calcium oxide is a basic oxide. Calcium oxide reacted with silicon oxide, and what it will form? It will form a layer of slag on the surface. So slag will form at the surface. So We call this as a basic oxygen furnace. Why basic oxygen furnace? Because silicon oxide is acidic oxide reacted with calcium oxide. So calcium oxide or metal oxide is a basic oxide. So calcium oxide plus silicon oxide, it will form calcium silicate, or we also call that as slag. So because of adding calcium oxide, we call this as a basic. Because of adding oxygen to the furnace, we call oxygen. And furnace means the place where you are heating substances at high temperature. We call that as a basic oxygen furnace. Is it clear? The wordings, what you will copy, I will mention. Oxygen react with carbon to produce carbon dioxide. So the gas which is coming out is CO2. Carbon react with oxygen, gives carbon dioxide. So the gas release or the gas which is given out is CO2. So the part which you have to copy, I will show what you have to write. The highlighted part you will copy. This is how we can convert iron into steel. So we add oxygen. So molten iron from the blast furnace is poured into an oxygen furnace or basic oxygen furnace. Basic or calcium oxide is added and a jet of oxygen is turned on. The calcium oxide neutralizes the acidic impurities, forming slab that is skimmed off, and the oxygen burns the other impurity away. The carbon content is checked continuously or continually until it is just right. So if there is too much, like if you have too much carbon, then it is brittle. If it is too little, it will be, and it is a weak, then oxygen is turned off. So basically, what is the reason why as the percentage of the carbon increases, the substance become or the iron become brittle. Brittle means small or no deformation and object can break. So what is the reason for that? Because if we have, so this is a piece of iron which contain carbon as an impurity. So the blue shades are representing iron atoms because and the black shades are representing carbon. So if we have high percentage of the carbon, if carbon percentage is more, the layers cannot slide over each other easily. The layers cannot slide, which makes it brittle. Brittle means the object cannot deform or change its shape, size, and it breaks. If percentage of the carbon, if you remove the carbon percentage, then it will become malleable. Malleable means the layers can slide, you can hammer into shape. Is it clear? Finish writing this, how we convert iron into steel. Or before rusting, the extraction of zinc, that's the last topic of extraction, and then rusting of iron. So extraction of zinc, the ore of the zinc is basically known as zinc blende, which is zinc sulfide, and it contain impurity.
Sir, zinc sulfide and zinc blende are same, yeah, right?
But zinc sulfide, when I say zinc sulfide only, it means that it is pure. But when I say zinc blend, it means it's a naturally occurring compound of a zinc which contain impurity, sand or silicon oxide.
So which is better for extraction?
But the thing is, naturally, you don't have like the pure zinc sulfide. You have zinc sulfide with sand, which is known as zinc blende. Like if you take these metals, we have minerals. So example, you have a rock. This rock contains zinc sulfide, and it also contains silicon oxide or sand. So you want to separate, you want to take out the metal from it. That's the extraction of the metal.
Yeah, okay.
So first thing, because the metals, we extract the metal from their oxides, because metal oxide, they can simply remove, either we can do electrolysis or by reacting with carbon or by reacting with, or by simply decomposing or heating them. So again, we use the furnace. We also use a blast furnace for this. The same blast furnace is used as we use for extraction of the iron, the similar blast furnace. And the same raw materials are also used here. So first, what were the raw materials used for iron? The raw materials. We use the ore, which is zinc blende here. There we use hematite, which is zinc blende. We use calcium carbonate or limestone.
Sir, why do we use this furnace?
Because in this furnace, we can supply the heat energy easily.
Okay, but we can also just make the extraction manually.
How you can extract manually? Like, because these substances require a high temperature for reaction to occur. So you should have a furnace which can trap the heat energy so that the temperature can rise. Like example, if you want to bake a cake, so you need a furnace for that. In open atmosphere, you cannot bake a cake. So
yes, but we can just react zinc sulfide with oxygen, which will produce zinc oxide.
Right.
And then we can react zinc oxide with carbon.
But it also contains silicon oxide. Then what you will do with silicon oxide?
Silicon oxide.
And the reactions are not at room temperature. The reaction required a certain temperature because for every reaction, there is an activation energy, minimum possible energy for reaction to start. So for this reaction, you need approximate temperature about 600 to 900 degree centigrade. So to maintain a 600 to 900,
sir,
you should have a closed furnace. Yes. Yes, Yusuf.
Yeah, all the ores are impure. Yes, every single ore is impure.
Yes, because that's why you want to separate, purify them, and you want to extract the metal from them.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, in the exam, if the question is like describe the extraction of zinc, so what we will use? We'll use zinc sulfide or zinc blende?
You will use the term zinc blende. So ore of the zinc, we need a coke, the carbon, and we need oxygen. Now, first what we do, from the bottom, we add hot air, mainly which the purpose is to provide oxygen. Because pure oxygen is not supplied here. Otherwise, you have to separate do a fractional distillation and extract oxygen. So it will increase the cost of the process. So to reduce the cost of the process, instead of supplying pure oxygen, we supply hot air. So at the bottom, we supply hot air. But first thing what we have to do, we have to convert this zinc sulfide or the ore of a zinc into zinc oxide. So first we add zinc sulfide from the top and oxygen from the bottom. So zinc sulfide reacted with oxygen, what it will form? It will form zinc oxide plus sulfur dioxide. And then you're also adding a coke from the top. So when you add a coke, why we supply a hot air? Because the main purpose, we want the reaction between zinc blende or zinc oxide, zinc sulfide with oxygen. So purpose of the hot air, so that oxygen can react in the air. The oxygen can react with zinc sulfide, which will convert this zinc sulfide into zinc oxide. Then the carbon which we are adding, so what happened? The carbon react with oxygen. When the carbon react with oxygen, it will result in a formation of carbon dioxide. We are adding an ore from the top which contain zinc sulfide and impurity silicon oxide, SiO2. So first carbon react with oxygen, give carbon dioxide, then carbon dioxide further react with coke and produce carbon monoxide. That's the same reaction which occur in iron. This carbon...
Sir,
this carbon monoxide, yes.
When we have zinc oxide in this container or this furnace,
Yes.
and we add carbon, why doesn't zinc oxide react with carbon and produce zinc as a gas?
Zinc sulfide can react with carbon. Zinc sulfide can react with carbon monoxide. Both reactions are possible.
Not zinc sulfide. I'm talking about zinc oxide.
Yeah, zinc oxide also can react with carbon. It can react with carbon monoxide. Both ways it can occur. Because carbon and carbon monoxide are good reducing agent. When we say reducing agent, means they have the tendency to remove oxygen from a substance. So this reaction can occur, or reaction directly with coke or a carbon can occur.
So in both of these reactions, zinc will be in gaseous state, right?
Yeah, zinc will produce in a vapor form. Why the zinc will produce in a vapor form? Because the boiling point of a zinc is about 900 or 800 something, but the temperature of the furnace is above the boiling point of a zinc. That's why it will be vaporized. So what happened? Like first we add oxygen. Oxygen react with carbon, give carbon dioxide, and zinc sulfide react with oxygen, give zinc oxide and sulfur dioxide. Then the zinc sulfide, here adding a limestone is optional. Sometimes we don't add a limestone. Why we don't add a limestone? There's a reason for that. Because what happened? The zinc oxide, when it reacted with carbon monoxide, it will form zinc and carbon dioxide. And the carbon dioxide, which is the zinc which is produced here, it is zinc vapors. Why zinc vapors? Because the temperature of the furnace is higher than the boiling point of a zinc. So the zinc vapors will escape the furnace, which can be condensed, which can be cooled down and convert into zinc liquid and then to zinc solid. So in this case, limestone is not necessary because we don't have to form a slag. It is not important. Or if you want, slag is having its own uses. Slags are mainly used for making, in a formation of a cement, we use a trace of a slag. So it is having uses, that's why we form a slag. Otherwise, practically in this reaction, formation of a slag is not the useful thing, because what happened? The zinc sulfide, first we reacted with oxygen. It will form zinc oxide and sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide.